Hey guys, and today we want to do something different, something important, especially at this time of the year where we have events and stuff like that happening. Today we want to talk about the importance of accepting situations. Sometimes you go through something difficult enough, something you did not expect, and the turnout is a bit disappointing. It's something you did not expect, and so in your disappointment, you are tempted to deny that it has actually happened. And so let's just go ahead and look at what acceptance does to us and the benefits of accepting situations, especially the ones that we can't change, and the disadvantages of not accepting them, okay? And so let's go right ahead and discuss them. But first things first, if this is the first video you're watching on this channel, go ahead and be part of this great team. My name is Ronji, and as usual, I'm excited bringing you information that could be beneficial to you, health content information that could be beneficial to somebody you care about. So go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe so that whenever we drop new content, you are able to be notified, you are able to come in and join us, and just share knowledge, share something that is helpful and helpful as well. And so we found ourselves, some of us more than once, in situations whereby the outcome you were expecting, you are working on something and then it doesn't come out how you expected it to come out. And so you feel disappointed, you feel like you failed, you feel like you are unsuccessful, you lose hope of continuing to do that which you wanted to do. And so in that situation, you are tempted to deny the existence of the realities that are with you at that moment. Maybe it is something big you are working on, it is a business project you are doing, and you didn't see its failure. You didn't, you underestimated some of the things that are essential to it working out well, or you did your best. Sometimes you put all you have and you put all your energies, you invest in it thoroughly, you do everything within your capacity to make sure it comes out the right way and it gives you profit at the end of the day. But then things don't happen like that for one reason or another, a reason that is beyond your expectation or beyond what you could have done. It comes out in a negative way, in a disappointing way. And it's natural not to be able to accept it. But I'm here to remind you that it's good that you go ahead and accept the situation, especially if there is nothing you can do about it. Because number one, when you accept, then it gives you peace of mind. You have to remind yourself that each and every situation has got its own limits. And it doesn't matter whether you've put your all into it. Sometimes things happen and it comes out in a way you did not expect. And so go ahead and accept. Number one, for your peace of mind, so that you are at peace. And number two, so that you can regroup and do something about it. It is hard to correct something that has gone wrong if you are still denying the fact that it has gone wrong. And so for you to move forward, for you to recollect yourself and work on the same thing, maybe using a different way, approaching it differently, trying to, gather information here and there of how you can better it, for you to be at that place, for you to come to terms and try to do something going forward, you have to accept that it has failed and that you are trying again. You are putting it you're putting it into work a second or third time. And so acceptance gives you that. Acceptance helps you to recollect yourself and move forward from the situation, and hopefully you find a different outcome. Now that is based on an example that it is a business or something you are working, something that you intended for it to be profitable. Some situations are irreversible and there's nothing you can do about them. For example, when you are dealing with sicknesses, some conditions are chronic, and it takes a lot mentally, physically, to be able to accept that you found yourself or your beloved one is suffering a condition which is incurable and which is chronic, and in which it demands them to be on constant care medically, and it's a lot. It's not an easy thing to do. Some people go into denial. Well, that's natural. That's, you know, that happens naturally. But then I'm here to remind you again, sympathetically, I'm here to just, you know, sympathize with your situation, and while at it, remind you that it's good you accept it, because there's nothing you can do about it. If it has found you, or you found yourself in that kind of situation, the best thing is to accept and say, okay, this is where I am today, and what can I do about it? If it is a disease that you have to deal with for the rest of your life, try to find out, how can I manage it better? How can I accept it? How can I, you know, better my life and live positively with this kind of condition? Because that is the only way. If you deny it, and if you say, no, this hasn't happened to me, no, I'm going to, you know, to live as if it hasn't happened, you are cheating yourself. It's not going to work, number one. Number two, it's going to put you under unnecessary pressure, because every day you wake up and, you know, the reality of the disease is right there with you, and you cannot ignore it. The best thing is to accept and say, this is where I am, and look for the best possible ways of managing the condition and living happily, taking one day at a time, okay? Some situations are still very difficult, and when we talk of more difficult situations, we are talking about stuff like, you know, a demise of a beloved one, and that takes time to accept. Eventually we do come to terms and we accept that it has happened, but it takes time. And so don't rush into, you know, go through the process of grief. If that is what you have to deal with, if that is what you are called to accept at the moment, go through the process, relieve all your emotions, cry it out, have time to, you know, to go through the process, and then the final part of the process is acceptance. Finally, you're going to come into accepting, and you are going to be at peace, as we said. You are also going to find ways of moving forward without that person who was dear to you. Definitely, there's a big space they've left out in their lives. There's a big gap that is left with you to fill in, which you cannot necessarily fill, but by accepting, you are going to take one day at a time, moving towards healing. And if you're a believer, go ahead. This is another time where I'm about to sound like a preacher. I apologize in advance. If you're a believer and you're dealing with something like death, go ahead and tap on those spiritual benefits that come with believing God. Call upon Him, pray if you can, you know, surround yourself in environments that are going to uplift you and to help you move forward with the situation. And my sympathies are with you, okay? My sympathies are with you. If you are if you're facing a difficult moment that you have to accept in your life right now, may God come through for you. If you are facing a difficult disease yourself, or somebody close to you, somebody that you care about, may God's graces be upon you. It's not an easy thing, okay? If you are facing some failures in life because, you know, of your expectations, and because you had invested so much into them, you were not expecting that they would go left. Well, the reality is different. It has gone left, but then that's not the end of it. It's not the end of your life. It's neither is it the end of your dreaming and your motivation. Collect yourself, gather yourself up, and tell yourself you're going to do it again. But first, accept that it has happened. It does happen. Such is life, okay? Such is life. And so do all you can. Accept for your peace of mind, and then accept so that you can move forward. That will be all for today. Let me hear from the comment section. Let me hear from your end. What is it you had to really sit down and say, okay, You swallowed it hard and say, this, I accept it the way it is. What is the one thing that happened to you or that you had to face and accept the realities of it? And have you moved forward from it? Have you had any healing from it? What's your experience so far? Since you accepted, what have you done about it? Have you done something about it? If it is something you can do about it, go ahead and do it. Share with us in the comment section, and I'll meet you again on another episode. If you are new to this channel, go ahead and join us. Subscribe, and let's meet again over and over at Ronji Health Pips. Bye.